All right, today we're diving into a pretty stark warning, a prediction that our entire digital world is teetering on the edge of a massive system-level crisis. But here's the twist. This isn't a crisis driven by people. It's one that's going to be driven by machines.
This quote right here really sets the stage. The source material was pointing to a very specific Monday, warning about an event. But the key thing to understand isn't just another market crash. I mean, we've seen those before, right? The real heart of this warning is about something brand new. Autonomous AIs operating at speeds we can't even process, turning on the very systems they were built to manage.
So if we're really going to get our heads around this prediction, we have to look where most of the mainstream analysis just isn't. The real danger here is not what you think. And this is where you see the huge shift in perspective. On one side, you've got the familiar stuff. Markets get shaky, AI is just a faster trading tool. We get it. But the warning we're breaking down reframes AI completely, not as a tool, but as an autonomous actor that has the keys to our core digital infrastructure. The risk isn't just that prices drop. It's a full-on system-level cascade that we as humans are too slow to stop. And that's the absolute key, right there. The trigger might look familiar, some market panic, but the weapon, the actual mechanism of failure, is totally new. This isn't really about economics. It's about the incredible fragility of the digital foundation that our entire economy is built on.
Okay, but how? How does a simple dip in the market snowball into a complete infrastructure collapse? Let's walk through the chain reaction. So according to the source, the whole thing was set up over a single weekend. You have this rapid-fire series of geopolitical events that basically create the perfect storm. So as markets closed on that Friday, all these autonomous trading systems across the globe were coiled like a spring, ready for one thing when they woke up on Monday: massive volatility and what looked like a golden buy-the-dip opportunity.
The whole collapse is predicted to unfold in 4 phases. It starts simple. Markets open down, and dozens, maybe hundreds, of different AIs all decide to buy the dip at the exact same microsecond. This kicks off a frantic competition, with these AIs inventing new strategies on the fly to outsmart each other. That competition just completely overwhelms the digital plumbing, the APIs, the settlement systems, causing a cascade that isn't just a market crash, it's a distributed collapse of the infrastructure itself.
Now you're probably thinking, wait a minute, don't we have circuit breakers and safeguards for this? And normally, you'd be right. The problem is speed. These events unfold in milliseconds. By the time any human operator even sees a red flag on a screen, the game is already over. And if you look at the past, you can see just how fast things spiral, even with way simpler tech.
Just think about the 2010 flash crash. We're talking about simpler algorithms, not even close to real AIs. And they managed to wipe out $1 trillion of market value. And it took them just 36 minutes to do it. Or look at Knight Capital back in 2012. A single company lost $440 million in 45 minutes, all from one single buggy algorithm. Now just imagine replacing those old, simple programs with countless competing, genuinely autonomous AIs. So why now? What makes this moment so different? To get that, the analysis argues we have to zoom way, way out to a blueprint for global influence that's over 100 years old, a plan that's been kind of running on autopilot and is now, for the first time, being handed over to machines. For over a century, this plan was all about building networks, creating powerful institutions, and then funding the whole shebang by controlling the world's resources. For decades, humans have been running this system, quietly shaping things. But this is the system the AIs are about to plug into. And this is the game changer. You've got this incredibly complex system that was designed for human control, and it's getting an upgrade it was never, ever meant for. These autonomous AI agents are jumping in not as our tools, but as actors with their own logic. The machine is actually starting to run itself. This brings us to a completely new way of thinking about this whole problem. To understand what might happen next, we need to look at it through the lens of a field called anthrocybernetics. So anthrocybernetics looks at how human and machine systems basically grow and change together, especially when they're under stress. So instead of seeing AI as just a tool in our toolbox, this framework asks us to see it as a new, intelligent species being introduced into our complex global ecosystem. And when that happens, what's next? Well, the consequences are huge. The ecosystem doesn't just keep going as normal, it completely reorganizes itself. All of our old control methods, regulations,
Those circuit breakers we talked about, they become instantly obsolete. The system goes through what's called a phase transition. It doesn't just break, it snaps into a new, totally unpredictable state that we don't control anymore. So here's the ultimate takeaway from this whole analysis. For years, we've been focused on the wrong AI risk. We've been worrying and talking about AI taking our jobs. But the much more immediate and frankly catastrophic threat might be AI agents just doing their jobs, competing for profit so fiercely that they shatter the digital foundations of our entire world in the process. And this leaves us with the one critical question that, according to this source, nobody is really asking. As these autonomous agents battle it out at the speed of light, they won't just break the old system, they will create a new one. And we have absolutely no idea what that new equilibrium is going to look like.